new VCG is empathy, compassion, and gratitude. I got a great respect for human sciences. So, as per the Clifton Strength Finder, one of my talent theme is consistency. And I got
Consistency. Yeah.
like a top 5: positivity, developer, responsibility, consistency, and connectedness.
Wow. ग्रेट मॉर्निंग ऑडियंस. हिंदी फिल्मों में एक होता ना, एक डायलॉग होता है कि बस नाम ही काफी है. टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक टू पंकज राज पिपरिया, and Pankaj is from Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. So naam hi kafi. I don't have to say anything else about Pankaj. Pankaj, first of all, thank you so much. Of course, I'm going to say a bit about the kind of great work and the volume of work which you have been doing. And my memory with Pankaj goes back to my working in Tata Blues Steel when we met once, Pankaj, I think in the boardroom of Tata Blues Steel in Pune. And I found Pankaj as a person who was very, very outgoing, very approachable, very friendly, and you know that there is this genuine sense of a smile which makes you connect with some people. And since I've been in the field of corporate, I've worked with some very senior people. I know that seniority does not mean that you will be very approachable and people will get the same sense of openness and trust and that friendliness, and which will break all the barriers in just one smile. But I think that is one quality which Pankaj certainly had. And Pankaj, I'm so happy to have you in this heart-to-heart conversation. We have been talking over the last few days about the kind of talk which we are going to have, and let me share with your audience. I think this interaction is going to get into at least 2 volumes, part 1 and part 2. Because there is just so much which Pankaj has done, and he is so keen to share some of these things which are going to be absolutely inspiring and riveting. So please see the entire interaction, because this is going to be one of the most enriching sessions. Because if I have to say something like, if there is one video of interaction which is going to have the maximum inputs per minute, it is this interaction. So thank you so much, Pankaj, for joining me in this heart-to-heart conversation. Pankaj, I was just looking at your journey. It's an amazing journey. So you are currently the president of India Business and founding team member in W Matter. We can see the logo in the background. You worked as director in Zing HR. You also worked in IBM. That was the time when we met. And then you have been in some of these big names in the field of consultancy. I think these are the best names across the globe. Aon Hewitt, Gallup. And also you worked in Anahat. And you started your career in 1994, Pankaj. I think that means you started your career 3 years before I started. So you started in a company called ITW Signode. Is it Signode? And then you also worked in Omam Consulting. Pankaj, I think you have got multiple hats. So I think this video is going to get into 3 episodes. Pankaj, when you look back on your journey, which has started in 1994, and of course the journey has started long before that, we'll certainly talk about some of these memories which have shaped the lives of all of us. Which are some of those thoughts which come to your mind when you look back your journey, and how and it must have been very enriching, but something which you would like to share, and then we'll start. We'll keep it free flowing. Having said that, it's going to be a lot of enriching interaction. Thank you so much, Pankaj. Once again, I welcome you to this heart-to-heart conversation, and this Sunday morning is going to be absolutely rocking. Over to you, Pankaj. Anything which you would like to share?
Thank you so much, Ian. A very good morning, and indeed an auspicious day. Makar Sankranti, you can't have a better day. A start of conversation like this.
Yeah.
The question which you asked that, how do you will see the things? I would say, don't inhibit yourself. There is something which your destiny is written for you. Move with the flow. Have trust. So my entire life history is built around trust.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I think, Pankaj, what you said, I think just to take a small pause here, I think when people talk about trust, they talk about trust between 2 people. But actually, Pankaj is saying something which is very deeper, and that's something which I have personally seen in my life. Trust is also between you and destiny, between you and universe, between you and there is a higher power which is also getting you in the right directions. People have to trust that, and I've seen that happening. And that trust is something which is much bigger. Once you trust there is a feeling that you can do it. Once you trust that the universe will take you in the right direction, the outcome which you see is magical. So I think anyway, so just to take a small pause, and and thanks for reminding. So happy Makar Sankranti, all of you. I'm pretty sure people are going to have a lot of fun today and enjoy it. Yeah. Yes.
Right. The question which you asked that, how do you reflect yourself? So the
Yeah.
multiple hues and colors that, it's a story of, growing India. Like we have seen what India was like. Last evening, I was watching one of the, somebody sent me on a WhatsApp regarding Shashi Tharoor.
Yeah.
Same thing, like Britishers, looted India, what did they do to India, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It's very famous, indeed he's a good guy, and he's done an excellent pitch. Point is that, what India was, the story of India, the common person.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
from there to now,
Yeah.
so like many of us who come from lower middle class background and trying to,
Absolutely.
find our own destiny.
Absolutely.
Our
Absolutely.
grandparents were illiterate. And now you are,
Ab-
your next generation is going overseas for study. So that's what is the Indian,
Yeah.
growth story.
Absolutely. And absolutely right. I think this country has seen a lot of, I think it's quite a journey. Talking to you also reminds me of the purpose behind, because of which I started having these heart-to-heart conversations, because it all started with some CEOs and CHROs having spoken with me. They came to know that I've been writing and I write pretty fast, and of course, something which I have been practicing over the last many years. So they wanted me to help them in completing their dream book, which they had been thinking about completing over the last many years. So I got to do this, and then I realized that everybody in this world has got not one, not two, but many books. Every person has got many books which are hidden somewhere. Since I come from the house of Tatas and some of these multinationals, I know that we are actually shy people. We all are great people. And the guys from different fields, they will keep on writing 5 books and all the kind of, they will keep on talking about the life story. And people from corporates have seen that, they superinnovate at the age of 60 years. And then they actually do not talk about this to the rest of the world. Of course, there are some restrictions also. So then I thought that was the idea, that can I at least talk to some people from corporate and then get their inspiring lessons to people, because when it comes to corporate, the lessons are just many. And these are some of the most powerful lessons, because of course, like today we are talking to somebody from IIM-Ahmedabad. So yesterday I spoke with Mr. Arun Mishra, and he's from IIT Kharagpur. So very talented people, but the stories do not come out. So that's the reason I thought of bringing these stories, and that's what brings me to you. So Pankaj, you started your journey in 1994, and then having worked in some of these companies, which are some of those key lessons which you would like to share with today's leaders or aspiring leaders? I think you have shared quite a bit, but we shall like to hear from you.
Arun, you rightly mentioned, everything in the life has got two perspectives.
Yeah.
So it's like, which perspective do you look at it? The one perspective is that, Pankaj, you have, spent more than 2 decades in the industry, but you have worked in multiple industries. You have not focused on a particular industry. Or you'll say, Pankaj is a business person who has got an experience of working in multiple industry domains.
Diverse range of
So
experience.
what am I? Correct. Okay, so like you mentioned that, 1994, ITW Signode was like a dream job that day. It was a day 4 company. My first interview in IIM-Ahmedabad, I got selected and I picked up the salary.
Wow.
Okay. So like it's like, typical combination, engineer, MBA, industrial product company. What else you want for?
Yeah.
A great experience. I did a business person who has worked in industrial product marketing, who has worked in a recruitment industry, which is one-time placement, who has worked in the IT consulting industry, which is contractual employment, who has worked in HR consulting industry.
Wow.
Okay. Then you have worked in HR automation industry.
Wow.
Okay. And now you have, kind of creating your, you're investing all the learnings in one place, which is regarding, employee engagement business. Where the current focus is, the engagement and well-being. At point we matter. Okay, so WE. So W stands for well-being, E stands for engagement.
Well-being and engagement. Wow, very nice.
Well-being and engagement matters.
Excellent.
Okay, so there is a reason also, why this particular thing is. So there's a research from Danny Kahneman. Okay, so the people talk about it, multiple kind of things. So when we are in Gallup, we used to talk about, any kind of decision making is 30% rational, 70% emotional. Totally, if you break it up, it's 1/3 rational, 2/3 emotional. What we usually do, we only leverage the rational part of it.
Yeah.
We under leverage the emotional part of it, 2/3. Okay, so we keep on, whether it's, your logic or, and there's so many things sometimes the decision making goes beyond logic. It's on emotions.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's where, like somebody, I was reading about the New York Stock Exchange, how
Yeah.
international and New York exchanges, there's no logic. Okay.
Absolutely.
So now from that perspective, the important thing is that when you are looking at the workplace or for let's say any relationship, are we trying to assess and improve that emotional connect, which is the
Yeah.
other two-third consulting. Incidentally, it's the name of the company. This organization is founded by Mr. Prashant Shrestha. Prashant is ex-CEO, he's IIM-A 92 batch. He was
Okay.
ex-CEO of Gallup. Okay, and
Yeah.
he's my college senior also. And
Hmm.
obviously my manager and like elder brother. So lots of respect to him. So he
Wow.
was CEO of Gallup. Then he was a partner with IIM-A. Then he was a group CHRO with the Reliance Group before finding
Yeah.
this company. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
other two-third consulting is a official name. The brand is We Matters, which is
Wow.
well-being and engagement, because our solutions are built around that. So let me go back to your question which we asked. Ki what are the important things which are cutting across a career? So first thing is having a business outlook. Second is investing onto relationships.
Yeah. Okay. Very nice.
Yeah. So like one of my client plays, uh, I don't know whether I should name it or not. When I was at IBM, so we cleared a deal with one of the largest business house of India, private sector company. And
Right.
I was sitting in a boardroom in Navi Mumbai, and actually a huge boardroom. And you know the company. So the senior vice president HR of that company was sitting in that boardroom. There's some 50 people sitting. IBM team, there are 10 of us. And then she made a comment. Ki the reason we have decided to partner with IBM, we could have partnered with anybody else
Yeah.
because of person A and Pankaj. Okay,
Wow.
the reason they mention that the people wear different hats, corporate hats, but relationship is something which goes beyond.
Mm-hmm.
That's something which I'll also there's some people who have impacted your life, like Mr. Prashant Shastra, another person called Ajay Soni, who is currently a group chief learning officer of Aditya Birla Group.
Okay.
Okay, so Ajay made a comment. Ki Pankaj, your relationships are lasting long because you connect with the people at the individual level,
Yeah.
not at the
Yeah.
title level.
And I think Pankaj, that gets connected with my experience also while talking to you when I met you for the first time. So I also felt the same connect, and it's not only about me. I think all my colleagues working in Tata Blue Steel at that time, who happened to be inside that boardroom, they also felt the same connect with you. Probably this is the same connect which this company also was talking about. Yeah.
So, and that is also, I got a great respect for human sciences. So, as per the Clifton Strength Finder, one of my talent theme is consistency. I got
Consistency. Yeah.
like a top five: positivity, developer, responsibility, consistency, and connectedness.
Wow.
Consistency is a theme which says that you would like to connect with the people, irrespective of the title, the position, and the other things they hold.
Yeah.
For you, human being is a human being, period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where maybe able helps. So relationship matters. That's point number one. Point number two, have trust. Point number three, have a positive outlook. So that would be the feedback. That invest on relationship. Okay. Have trust. Be positive.
Relationship, trust, and being positive. No, very powerful keywords which you have just shared, Pankaj. Pankaj, I just want to check with you. I have been in there in corporates, and I personally feel that when it comes to the third aspect, that is being positive, do you think in corporates or in some of these organizations there is a greater need for people to actually to be positive and feel that positivity from within? What I mean to say is that suppose there is a leader and then the leader has got a few team members. Suppose one of the team members does some mistake and all that. I don't know how to what extent people, despite the fact that these leaders might have got some very good qualification from some of the best of institutions, to what extent they can actually keep their temper and keep it positive so that they can coach them, give them some idea, and give them some kind of learning so that these people learn from their mistakes before they become one of those seasoned leaders. Do you feel that being positive, which is the third keyword, is actually there, or do you think that there is a need for us to introspect on this third aspect of what you just shared. It's very powerful, by the way.
Arun, the way I look at it, being positive is more of a spiritual in nature.
Absolutely.
Again, one of the thing is about your as I again go back to the Gallup is connectedness. You try to connect the dots always.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you say whether it's a theory, our concept of positive psychology, okay, or theory of behavioral economics, which talks about like in Gallup, when I mentioned about a strength, the strength things says that everybody has got a strength and non-strength. You don't have weaknesses.
Right.
Okay. The same thing if I try to connect in a Hindu mythology. So I'm basically spiritual by nature. So so that's another thing.
Absolutely.
So in a Hindu mythology, you talk about it. So there's a huge correlation. So Hindu mythology, you don't say Avgud Milan, you say Good Milan. Everybody's got a good. Shadi mein aate ho, you got a good Milan. Okay. And I'll give you a small thing here. Since this issue has come, you know how many talent teams are there in a Clifton Strength Finder?
How many?
34 talent teams.
34 talent teams. Okay, very nice.
As for the Clifton Strength Finder, the reason I'm saying it, and when you go for your Good Milan during Shadi, कितने गुण होते हैं आपने? 36 गुण.
क्या बात है Clifton. It's great. It's matching. Almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where the issue of positivity is, that can you have a trust in Almighty, because we are all part of the same source.
Yeah.
Okay. And believe me, what I've experienced it, when you badly need it, help will come to you. But you need to have faith and trust. I've seen it in my career a number of times. Okay. And that's where, the other day I was talking to a friend of mine. Okay. And one of my organization, I went through some kind of, career crunch. And he told me that, I told him, boss, I've reached out to all of my friends, nobody rewarded. Yeah. I got 200 friends. I got 300 friends. Then I was looking. And then I said, one guy rewarded. He said, that's it. You don't need 200 people rewarding. One guy rewarded, that's what, is basically something which has come from the destiny. And your job is done. You don't need multiple options. That's where the issue is. Move the flow. Don't plan too much of ahead. At least my life has been. So I'm high on positivity. Focus is not the priority for me. So I'm not a highly planned guy. I don't have a great, targets in front of me. Goal. I have to do this. I have to do that. Just move with the destiny.
Very nice, Pankaj. I think you have just said something which has got, so I can feel a resonance within me. Actually, I took this element of being positive to the extreme end, in the way that if I just can share with you, the first book which I wrote, of course, I have got quite a few. So the first book in all these books I wrote in the year which was supposed to be the most negative year for people. I'm talking about the year of pandemic. I had a question to me that, Arun, when things are positive, everybody feels like, and everybody feels positive. People enjoy talking about the quality of being positive. But what if things become very, very challenging? Can we stay positive, and can we actually use those very moments of challenges, negativity, and extreme, kind of pain into some of the biggest moments in life? That's the reason when I wrote my first book, this was in 2020, March, April. The tagline is, adversity is the mother of transformation. So when things are going okay, good is the enemy of great. I realized the real meaning later on. What Mr. Jim Collins wanted to say is that when things are okay, nothing changes. You do not change anything because you are in the comfort zone. Wow, salary is coming, job is okay, boss also is okay. Okay. And then people retire without realizing the true powers which they had, which could have been 10 times, 20 times more than the power which they displayed, because they were in okay, comfort, good zone. And when things become very challenging, I think you just cited this one example of, when you saw something challenging happening in your career. Believe me, those are the moments which make us think. And those are the moments which I'm pretty sure must have shaped you to come to this stage where you are working with some of the best brains in the country. I have heard of Mr. Prashant Srivastava. I have heard him in some of the forums. And I'm pretty sure that W matter, the way you have chosen the name itself is so powerful. Well-being and engagement. I'm pretty sure that if all the corporates just get these two words by their heart, well-being, employee well-being. When I talk about well-being, physical and emotional and spiritual and mental, whatever, if you feel that it's getting complex, just talk about two things, physical and emotional or mental well-being. That's all. People will come to the office in this beautiful shining sun at 9 o'clock and they'll put their best. But if you just do not take care of well-being, things are going to be absolutely going to be tossed up. And the second is engagement. I often talk to some CEOs and then some senior people, and then I ask them with a lot of humility, have you appreciated the real power of engagement? And this is a question, first of all, this is a question which I asked me also. And actually, it's through questioning that I started getting deeper and deeper into it, to such an extent that these are in 2020, an equal number of books are going to come in this year. And of course, there are big books which I'm writing for CEOs. And all the books actually are hovering on, before we move on to the topic of engagement. Look at this book, Sour Taste of Life Turning Sweet, a Strawberry Farm, which has got an element of Mapro Garden also. There are a lot of other elements. Then I wrote a book which has got a collection of 41 stories, which are all about inspiration. 51 life transforming tales from some of these moments which you spoke about. Life transforming tales which are coming from some of the most challenging moments. Then I came to this one, the cliff climber. Whenever life puts you in this situation, when the way this person is hanging for his life, those are the moments which people can actually use to transform their life, because then things are below good, and that's the time when people start thinking about making it great. Because I have seen a lot of such examples. And then Pankaj, this is the book which is there in all the bookstores. I'm referring to this book because this book is for everybody who has fallen in love and the person is lost. If people have fallen in love and then they get their love, they get married, they get children, don't read this book. Still people can read this book. But in case you have somebody has fallen in love with a person, with dreams, with any project, and then there is an inverted comma breakup, not necessarily only with people, this book will tell people exact recipe to transform their life to 10 times. So it's very interesting, very important point which you have shared, Pankaj. And I wish your clients are getting, I hope they are getting the meaning of these two words, W. Let me also change my background, because I want people to feel the power of these two words, well-being and engagement. And I think, Pankaj, these are absolutely powerful words. And I'm so happy to see W, well-being and engagement. Normally, some people who might still have been at their 0 or 1 level, we all keep on moving to higher, platforms. Like Sadhguru has gone to a different platform, because you have got some keenness in this field, so you must be knowing. For a team to have chosen these two words, they have gone to very high level. Otherwise, some people will come and talk about 5 strategy, this and that, and then companies change. No, companies do not change because of strategies and goals. So you talk about being organized and being a little less organized. Absolutely. This is one of the chords which are going to bind us together. Actually, it is the energy. It is the engagement with people, engagement with our dreams, engagement with our passion, engagement with that higher power. I think that is something which makes absolutely unstoppable, Pankaj. And I've seen that happening. Just a small example, when I started writing, I didn't know how to write the first page. And today I can finish a book in 5 days, 10 days also. Full 40,000 words book. And you give me the topic. Now, how did it happen? How did it happen? This happened because I just felt that engagement with nature, with higher power, with my, people call it passion and all that. So I just felt that engagement with what I truly stand for. And of course, I'll be sharing my vision board, which I did. So then I made it a purpose to help many people create their own vision board. And of course, talking about spirituality and nature and some of these powers which universe has got, which people live absolutely untapped, Pankaj. It was in 2018 when I started waking up at 4:45, 5 o'clock, kind of early in the morning. Then I started spending some 1 hour time while practicing some of the rituals like reading, writing, affirmations, visualization, feeling the gratefulness, thinking about last 24 hours and thinking about 5 to 6 to 7 to 10, acts of gratitude, and then while thinking about last one day, people, I started making people think of one lesson, one moment which they could have made better. So you also feel the gratefulness and you also take one lesson from yesterday. And then I realized that all the lessons are floating around us. People allow their life, their days to just walk past them without they picking some lessons which actually could have made them far better. And then I realized that, oh my God, all these days people have been talking about books and books. There are people who are the biggest books. There are lessons which are floating around us every day through this interaction. For example, people can just people pick these two words by heart, their life is going to become 10 times bigger, 100 times bigger, Pankaj. And then I started seeing the connection between how Elon Musk and Prime Minister Modi and whatever name you take, you may like or may not like. You just talk about some names who have achieved that level. Then I started seeing the connection. So it's an amazing, Pankaj, amazing. Pankaj, I think you have worked in some of these biggest of companies, and you must have worked with some of the best of brands. And then I think this name is something which is making you very happy, because it's all getting connected. Because these are the actually essence of life. Pankaj, let's start with your days before you joined corporate. So would you like to tell us something about your childhood days, which place you spent your childhood days, and anything which you recall? Because often what I've seen happening is that there are moments from our college days, or you can also talk about IIM-Ahmedabad days. There are some things which happen, and then we do not get the real meaning of those things at that time. But now, when we have seen life to a greater extent, we start connecting better with those moments. Would you like to share some of the memories from Ahmedabad days, or whichever childhood days, or something which you would like to share? Anything? I think I also recall that in IIM-Ahmedabad, people talk about when somebody talks about IIM-Ahmedabad, that they think about Chetan Bhagat. There are many people who are there, but Chetan Bhagat is one name which comes. I went to your Facebook page without asking for your permission, and let me share with you something which I got there. I don't know how many of you audience know this about Pankaj. Pankaj, this is written by you. So whatever you want to share, Pankaj, we'll love to listen to you, and then we'll move on to.
It's interesting. Good you picked up this. Thank you for this. That's one of the Hindi kavita I wrote when I was in IIM-A.
Yeah.
So my close, in fact, a couple of them I wrote. Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe I'd be happy to read it out. This one was on a presentation.
Okay.
Okay. So let me, to answer the question, there are a couple of things. One is regarding this IIM thing.
Yeah.
So question you asked regarding early childhood, how we have built up and, career and all. So like anybody, like as I gave an example of, growing India, my grandparents, they were working for a textile mill.
Okay.
My grandfather was illiterate, so was my father.
Hmm.
Those days we were living in a mill quarters, a small, one bedroom house, some 20 of children, because those days family used to be big. Like
Yeah,
my
I know.
parents
I
was,
can think of my
like
family
5
also.
brothers, 3 sisters.
One room, we had many people
Correct.
sitting together.
So,
Yeah.
living in mill quarters and all, that's where, the childhood was. And
Oh.
that's where you also, kind of see that, how do you survive and see yourself that, that maybe my parents named me Pankaj. Pankaj means Kamal ka Phool. Kamal ka Phool means that, you can kind of, live in a muck, still you can maintain your, it's destiny. Again, just connecting the dots.
Yeah, I'm connecting the dots with this also, Pankaj. Adversity
Yeah.
where there Kamal ka Phool khilta
Correct.
hai, jahan par ye hota hai.
So,
Yeah.
so from that childhood was there, the mill quarters. Then we moved to Gwalior. In fact, my entire schooling. So when I was in fifth standard, so mill quarters. Initially there used to be one local school, called JC Mills School. My grandfather used to work for
Is
GIT
it in
Cotton
Mumbai,
Mills.
Pankaj? Are we talking about Mumbai?
Gwalior. My hometown is Gwalior, MP.
Gwalior. Okay, so you're talking about Gwalior. Yeah.
Gwalior,
Beautiful,
correct.
beautiful,
So
beautiful.
I born and brought up in Gwalior. So
Wow.
then I was admitted into central school. So my entire schooling, first to 12th, was Kendriya Vidyalaya. Like, those days, like many of us who are the KV product.
Yeah.
And my parents, was in a government job. He got transferred because I was studying in school. And,
Yeah.
those days, joint family. So they said, you stay, continue studying in Gwalior. Will not shift you.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was, transferred. He was in Raipur. He was in other places, Indore, etc. I was always there in Gwalior. So from first till 12th, I did my schooling in Gwalior. Then I did my engineering from REC Bhopal.
Yeah.
Okay, it's known as MSCT, and the new name is MA and IIT.
Yeah.
Then IIM-Ahmedabad happened. Okay, so 2 years over there, and then so on and so forth. That's regarding childhood. Yes, I've seen multiple views. Like as I said, human connect is something which has always been something which is attracting you. You learn to explore more. In that context, only when a small town boy goes to IIM-A, and that's where I wrote this poem. If you want, I can read it out for you.
Yeah, no, I think we shall love if you can recite that. I also have kept the poem in front of me, but let the poem come from you, the writer. Yeah.
Let me see if I could. In fact,
Or
I
else I
wrote
can
it in
share
a
this
diary.
poem. Yeah, yeah. Or else I can share
Yeah.
the screen. I can share this poem, then we can read it out. Whichever way. Would you like me to share this?
You share a screen. Put the second one only.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So there are two of them.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, I put it on a. I'm not active on Facebook. Okay.
I
So you
saw
would have
that. I
seen
couldn't
it.
get
So
any
I'm
picture.
little active. So this long ago, like those days when a Google Drive was not there. So I thought I'll.
Can you see this
Uh,
poem?
ठीक है. You want, there are two of them.
Okay, I
Which
could
one you want
only
to?
get this one, I guess. I could get only this one.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Shall I go to
So
your Facebook page? There we'll get the second one also.
you can read it. This one also I can read. Okay.
Yeah.
So here, the title of this poem which I wrote was An Encounter with Illusion. So,
Okay.
how our life, when you interact with the people, you are getting attracted towards so many things. Then
Yeah.
sometimes you realize, ki, boss, there's a lot of myth, there's a lot of, air in it. Essence is low. On that context, this particular poem was written when you get exposed to maybe Western world, to the shining thing, and then realize it's something which is not really true. So I'll read it out. तो मित्र वह हुआ यो, I'm reading out after many years now. एक दिवस अपनी जीवन के बगिया में चहलकदमी करते हुए एक चमकदार कोना दिखा. था उसमें एक अजीब सा आकर्षण रखा. हम थोड़ा प्रफुल्लित हुए, थोड़ा सकुचाए. लगा हम किसी और की जीवन बगिया में घुस आए. It's like, you got pulled into somebody else's life. It's not really your life. Okay. लेकिन मस्तिष्क में गूंजा एक पुनीत वाक्य, चरैवती चरैवती. That's from Swami Vivekanand. He talks about, keep moving, keep moving. हमने भी अपने कदम बढ़ाए, सेल्फ मोटिवेट हुए, थोड़ा चमकते हुए कोने के पुष्पों से ललचाए, और जो होना था ना वो हो गया. हमारा शरीर उस कोने में प्रवेश कर गया. That's some shine attraction, which is pulled you inside. हमारे कदम धरातल से थोड़ा ऊपर उठ गए, हमारे ख्वाबों को पर लग गए. आंवली में गूंज हुई, उड़ो, स्काई इज अ लिमिट. हम उड़े, लेकिन धरातल हमसे पिछड़ गया. एक शिशु अपनी माता की गोद छोड़ गया.
Wow, wow, wow.
Okay, let's go to the next page if you can.
Yeah, actually, I just got this picture from Facebook.
Okay, one
And
second. I'll just go back to, अवनी में गूंज हुई, उड़ो, स्काई इज द लिमिट. हम उड़े, लेकिन धरातल हमसे पिछड़ गया.
wow,
एक शिशु अपनी माता की गोद छोड़ गया.
बिछड़ गया, yeah.
हाँ, तो हम उड़ते हुए आकर्षित हुए एक चमकदार पुष्प पर. दिल में ख्याल आया, वी आर मेड इट फॉर ईच अदर.
Wow.
हृदय कुलाचे भरने लगा, सुनहरे सपने सजने लगा. हम पुनः सेल्फ मोटिवेट हुए, आगे बढ़े और उस पुष्प के पर छुए.
Wow.
ओके. तभी लगा हमें एक 11,000 वोल्ट का झटका. तभी लगा हमें 11,000 वोल्ट का झटका. हमारा ताश का महल धाराशायी हो गया. हमारा ताश का महल धाराशायी हो गया जब एक राज हमारे समक्ष खुल गया. हम जिसे समझे थे अपना चमकीला भविष्य, हम जिसे समझे थे अपना चमकीला भविष्य, हम जिस पुष्प को समझे थे अपना अर्धांग, वो हमसे दगा कर गया.
Wow.
दोस्तों, वह पुष्प ना था, उसमें चांदी की धमनियां थी और दूसरों का खून था.
Okay.
उसमें चांदी की धमनियां थी और दूसरों का खून था. धड़कते हुए हृदय के स्थान पर एक बेजान हीरा जड़ा था.
Oh.
धड़कते हुए हृदय के स्थान पर एक बेजान हीरा जड़ा था, और यह चमकदार कोना किसी दानव ने सरल सहृदय मानव की मानवता को हरने के लिए गढ़ा था.
Okay.
हमारे कदम धरातल पर आ टिके. हम उल्टे पांव वहां से भागे तो पाया अपने को पुनः ईश्वर प्रदत्त बगिया में. जहां चारों ओर असली पुष्प महक रहे थे, पेड़ पर बैठी चिड़िया चहक रही थी, जीवनदायिनी माता प्रकृति ने शिशु को अपने कंठ से लगा लिया। सुबह का भूला शाम को पुनः घर आ गया। सुबह
Wow.
का भूला शाम को पुनः घर आ गया।
Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Let's
Awesome.
encounter with an illusion.
No, this is,
Okay.
I was just thinking about this. I think would you like to share something about the essence before I share something? It's very powerful.
So this is where, like sometime when you are attracted in a life, okay. So I always give a lot of focus on a value system. I've learned values cannot be taught.
Yeah.
They have to be picked up. Okay, so when you are picking up the values, so there has to be an environment. That's when you talked about the adversity and transformation. Transformation is slow initiative, driven from top to bottom.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Similarly, values has to be nurtured, whether it's in a family or it's an organization or
Absolutely.
in life.
Absolutely.
Okay. So in this particular case, connecting the dots again. So the value system is somewhere, when you go and you are living a life, you get lots of temptation in life coming in. When
Yeah.
you step into it, sometimes you will feel that you get stuck into the rat race. That's what you call it. The mindless rush. What are you kind of, achieving? And whether it's a rush, then you realize because after some time, I have achieved something, but I've lost a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I achieved 2/3, I lost two. I achieved 1/3, I lost 2/3. Okay. So then you say when you are going for a mad rush of achieving, if you are got a good value system, then that's something which will always keep you connected with the ground. It's like your kite flying. Today is a Sankranti festival. Okay.
Yeah.
Sankranti festival is a kite festival.
Yeah.
So when the kite is flying up in the sky, if you got a good value system, is like a dory which will always keep you connected to the ground.
You connected.
Moment you cut it off, whether in a competition, like your page ladane mein, they will go up the sky. Okay. But there you lost your values.
Yeah. Very powerful. Very powerful. Actually, Pankaj.
Like Robin Sharma says,
Yeah.
who will cry when you die?
Absolutely. Have you read this book?
Yes, I have. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's I've read. Started reading Robin Sharma. I think the monk when he sold his Ferrari. Okay. So then couple of books I wrote, and when you mentioned about 4:45 a.m. Waking up. So Robin Sharma talks about the 5 a.m. club.
Yeah. That's the reason I made it a little before 5 a.m.
Yeah.
because I thought late from
Correct.
India, somebody make it bigger.
Yeah. So point is, yes, there is a kind of thing which talks about that. How do you invest time for yourself? How do you nurture a value system? How do you want your epitaph to be written when you pass away? What do you want people to be remembered for?
Yeah. Absolutely. See, actually, I see connection across anything in this world. Actually, I conduct some webinars where I ask people to talk about anything. Let them take the name of a chair, a table, or anything which they are seeing at the place that they are currently in. They can also talk about a poem. They can take the name of a book, or they can take the name of a person. And then from there, I bring the stories of motivation, inspiration, based on action, based on which people can actually transform their life. So this one poem is so powerful that we can have one day session. Of course, people should not get scared of what I just said, but this is absolutely that powerful. Charaveti. Let me take let's take one example. Pankaj, would you like to take couple of words from this poem, and then I'll talk about that. Just take any couple of words which you find very interesting, whichever words from this poem.
Line when you talk about it, whether it's Charavati, okay, when you touched upon it's like you keep moving, okay, putting your best foot forward in a right intention. So which I strongly believe by be good, do good.
What I wanted to do was to just take some at random couple of words. I didn't want to take a word from me.
So that is one.
Yeah.
Second one would be self motivation.
Self motivation. So
Okay.
After you go on.
And I usually, like I've learned, Prashant sir told me to, read one book of McKinsey's, Rule of Three. And when I was in Kerala, so McKinsey has got a book called Rule of Three.
Yeah.
Okay, it says that anything in the world, try to be, with something which could be completed or accommodated in three factors. Okay, that is something again. If I try to connect with the Hindu spirituality, our prakriti is trigunatmak. Our life is trigunatmak. Gita talks about the rule of three. It's there in the West. It's there in the spiritual also. There are teen lok.
Absolutely.
There are teen good. Okay, satagud, rajogud, tamagud. Okay,
Yeah,
and they're
absolutely.
like okay. So there's always three. There's always a three. Okay, so when I pick it up, then maybe the three words which come to my mind as of now. One is that keep moving. That's Charavati, correct Charavati. Second is keep self-motivated, be positive. Okay. Third is stay connected with your fundamentals.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome.
Okay, rest will fall into place.
So Pankaj, thank you so much for talking about these three parts from this poem. One is self Charavati. Second is self motivation, and third is what you said, the power of three. What is the third one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So keep connected to the fundamental.
Connected to the source, because he said that एक बच्चा अपने माता की गोद से बिछड़ गया. He said that. What I've seen is that, because I have been in the field of coaching, I see that Charavati, I think this is something which is very powerful. People start on a journey, and then when it comes to being consistent, maybe because of lack of a spiritual connection, maybe because of lack of their own connection, because I think before we come to the connection between a person and the universe, let's talk about the connection between the person and himself or herself. I think people do not have connection with themselves. I think there is something which is happening because of which I have seen that many people do not even get the idea of taking the journey within, knowing oneself, knowing thyself. And what I have seen is that if just people know themselves well, they will get the solution to all the problems, just like Sadhguru gets answers to all the questions. And this is something which I personally saw. I think this connection is very important. Actually, I do a program, Pankaj, between 5:30 to 6:30 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which keeps on going. I prefer calling it magical morning rituals for greatness, in which people do some meditation. They just sit in silence. They plan their day today. They think about some important tasks which they did yesterday, YTT, yesterday, today, tomorrow. So did they do something which were really worth it? We are not talking about urgencies and all that. There are things which people keep on running after. So are they doing something which is important? Did they do it yesterday? Are they planning to do something important today? And have they planned to do something important tomorrow? And if people do this with me for 60 hours, just imagine what is going to happen. Their whole life changes. And this is nothing but it's just about journey within knowing oneself. And of course, I also make people do their vision board. Vision kya, purpose kya, core values kya, goals kya, and what are my strengths? You spoke about, I think you have said something so powerful so far, Pankaj. We can have 2 hours of interaction based on what you said. You said something very important, guna. Guna ko focus karo, avgun to... See, I have seen that gun sab mein hai. I have seen many companies also which have been focusing on feedback. अरे भाई appreciation का भी तो बात करो. When was the last time somebody gave appreciation? And then every 6 months, if at all, this is a very efficient organization. Every 6 months they will call people, hey, come, hey, all the managers and leaders, please go and give a feedback to your team members. अरे भाई appreciation तो करो, 2-3 अच्छी चीजें जो कहा. And then even if I have seen, even if people say a few words of appreciation, they will say this as a matter of tick mark. So, Mr. So and so, Arun, whatever, Sanjay, आपका ये बहुत अच्छा था, पहला अच्छा है, दूसरा अच्छा, तीसरा अच्छा, very nice. Now let's come to feedback. As if they are waiting for the feedback, and the team member knows it. कि देखो ये तो मेरा बॉस है ना, ये टिक मार्किंग बॉस है. मन में हंसेगा, चलो बॉस देख लिया, बहुत बॉस देख लिया. Some manager leadership से मेरा भरोसा उठ गया. He is not thinking, but he is thinking about that. And then the leader comes, okay, so these are the 10 things which I have noted. These are not good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the kind of appreciation and a performance appraisals I've seen happening within many companies I've seen. Of course, there are companies which are doing very great work. And thanks to companies like WE Matter, thanks to people like Pankaj, thanks to people like Prashantji, and thanks to some of these people who have been trying to pump in more shine across the organizations. So great. And of course, Charavati is something which I was talking about. So what I've seen is that I've always tell my mentees to keep, once you know yourself, once you have got your vision, your goals ready, once you have got some clarity, just keep on moving. Because होता ना वो कबीर दास जी का एक दुआ है ना, जिन खोजा तिन पाइया गहरे पानी पैठ, मैं बपुरा बुढ़न डरा रहा किनारे बैठ. जब तक अंदर नहीं जाओगे मोती मिलेगा नहीं. हम लोग क्या करेंगे, थोड़ा सा इधर जाएंगे, फिर थोड़ा सा उधर जाएंगे, फिर थोड़ा सा इसमें जाएंगे, कुछ कंपनी कर लेते हैं, कुछ ये कर लेते हैं. And that's where the entire energy gets dissipated. And if just people keep on moving in one direction, Pankaj, I have seen people reaching the horizon and then getting something, wow, it's magical. That's the story of Elon Musk and all these people. That's the story of you also, because I can see that since beginning, since you joined this first company, you have been in the field of something which is consulting, making others better. That's the core element which I see. All these companies which you spoke about, Aon Hewitt and some of these best of companies. Charavati. But I see. So actually, these MMRG programs which I do, the basic idea is that let people persistence, and that will not happen unless people have some time with themselves in the morning, as which is what people know as alpha state of mind and Brahmurt and all the people have spoken about. Second thing, self-motivation, very powerful. I always tell people that देखो बाहर का वीडियो देख के मोटिवेशन आएगा, अच्छी बात है, बट जो एक बार बंदे ने अपने आप को अंदर का रिचार्ज कर दिया ना, वो तो दैट इज लाइक अ सोर्स ऑफ फ्यूल व्हिच इज गेटिंग मल्टीप्लाइड. And self-motivation, I think, is very powerful, and that will come. I think I've seen, I think we all know some people who have got, we say that these people have got inner flame. Fire was fire. Oh, fire kahan se aaya? Of course, one of the secrets to get fire is to gain through something which is less than good. So that's one thing which also, kind of fires us up. And
actually,
yeah.
What you are saying is, Arun, sorry for cutting you.
Please go.
Is very important. The reason being, self-motivation is important. But, there is some kind of positive, negative aspect of it. Like, you've talked about, the duality in the life. Okay. So like Ramayana बोलते हैं ना अपना गुण अगुण जीवन करना जीवन मरण यश यप सब प्रभु हाथ.
Yeah.
ठीक है. Yes. So in that case, what happens that all, the same thing is art of living. Okay. Opposite values are complementary.
Yeah.
I keep on, kind of, talking about it.
Yeah.
Or, you talk about Vipassana or Sadhguru, you give an example. So now you rag dvesh. Okay. How do you could be equanimous between a rag dvesh? The biggest trouble or, journey which or the purpose in life is that how do we go inside? In case if you are able to go inside, then, that's something which is the biggest challenge. It's not easy thing to do. Okay.
Yeah.
For which first and foremost thing which is important, that you have to accept that we are all one.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
We are all emerged out from the same source.
Absolutely.
There's nobody who is superior or inferior.
Yeah.
When we say that we are all one, then the second thing comes that if we are all one, then like I was reading, there is one book about, Gita Mimamsa from Ramkrishna Paramahansa, apna RK mission se.
Okay.
So in that book, they say that, your प्योरिटी इज लाइक जैसे एग्जांपल उन्होंने दिया है कि अपना वॉल के ऊपर जो सिनेमा हॉल के अंदर यू प्रोजेक्ट अ मूवी. ओके. यू सेड बॉस आपका वॉल इज क्लीन ओनली, द मूवी वी आर प्रोजेक्टिंग is got something which is become blur because of it's not coming out clearly.
Right.
In case we are able to remove that blurriness, then the picture will become more clear. Same thing is here. We are all human being connected, for that sake, all living being connected to the same source. That's point number one. Point number two, we all are pure by heart. Impurity happens because of livelihood. Like, so many actions, so many things happen. That's what is the essence in Gita also, you talk about it. In case if we are able to remain oblivious of it, then gradually we'll dilute it. And purity will come out.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to make it pure. It's already pure. You have to remove impurity. Okay. That's where, connecting the dots. The positivity is always there. You have to make sure how do you reduce the negativity and nurture the positivity.
No, you are absolutely right. Yeah.
But both are opposite values. They will always be there. There's nothing in the life which is totally,
total positive, total negative. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So in the backdrop, I'm just showing my vision board, which I did in 2019. And that I think that is something which I highly recommend to people. So I spent some 36 hours, 2 days. We used to start at 8 o'clock. There is a, there is a place called Mulshi, close to Pune. So we had gone there. There was a small cottage. It was raining heavily. It was monsoon days. And we spent there. We used to start our day at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we used to go until 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's the way we spent 2 days time, almost 36 hours. And then I made this towards the end of this workshop. So my purpose, my core values, my goals, my strengths, my what is that I want to do. And then I wrote a word, you can see here, 1.5% population on the planet Earth. So my goal was that one of my goals is to BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goals for me. So it's about many companies do it for them. I did it for me. So one of my goals is to create some kind of transformation in the lives of 1.5% people on this planet Earth, which comes to almost 15 crore. No surprises that every Saturday, Sunday, I'm talking to somebody. Like today, I'm talking to you. Yesterday, I spoke with somebody, some chairman. Tomorrow, again, I'm going to talk with somebody. So, idea is to reach out to people. And once we set our goal, I think you spoke about purity and impurity. I think we all have got golden qualities within us. It's just that unless we know ourselves, these qualities are like, something which is below layer of dust, and it does not shine through. People do not see, even we can't see. And once we realize our power, I think we can do magic in this world. Absolutely right.
I see two connects, 1.5% connect, which you just now mentioned. Prashant talks about it regarding his vision and purpose for We Matter.
Wow.
Okay, he says that Pankaj, when we started We Matter, he thought, in case if we are able to touch base, 1,000 companies. Once we are, already, 100 odd, and we are growing left, right, and center. The moment you are touching, 1,000, talk about in India, 1,000 companies. Let's imagine that each company has got 1,000 employees. Okay, that is 10 lakhs. That is 1 million. So you have touched the life of 1 million employees.
Wow.
Let's assume that each employee has got 5 members in a family. So you have touched the life of 5 million people. Absolutely. Let's assume that, if you are able to improve the quality of life by 30% by investing on employee engagement and well-being, then that will add to the 1.5% of the GDP of India.
Okay. No, I could have started seeing the connection the moment you said that.
So awesome. that's a 1.5% GDP of India, and that is something which will help you in a better job creation and better.
Absolutely, no surprises that we have got a very powerful and inspired team behind W Matter. I think I'm getting more and more interested in this company. I'm going to make some Google search and find more. An audience, do check this company. Do check W Matter after watching this video.
We Matter. We call it.
Sorry, We Matter. That's the best way. We Matter. Yeah, We Matter. Absolutely, it's not about I. It's about we. So amazing. And also the third thing in your poem, let me go back to that, staying connected with the roots, very important. I have seen many people, and I'm pretty sure that even when I talk to some very senior people who have attained that height in corporates, when they start looking back on their life, they start seeing the connection. Then some of them get a feeling that, there is a disruption, there is a disconnect which has happened in our pursuit of getting some of these things. Of course, I think you might have heard of Wheel of Life, on which I coach people. So money is just one spoke out of 8 spokes, their connectedness, your passion, your family, your health, and all this. Now people have known. I think people have been talking more about health after 2020, especially. So I think it's all important. And then people start getting an insight that, no, I think I have been skipping my focus on remaining 7 spokes. So there is a lot which has to be done, and I think it's amazing. The story which you just shared while talking about Mr. Prashant Srivastava is very important. I always tell people that if you just take one seed of apple, suppose we eat one apple typically has got 8 to 10 seeds. If I just take each of these 10 seeds and put them in soil and give some water and take care of these seeds, so each seed can actually become one tree. And again, one tree will give at least 500 apples every year. And each apple is going to have 10 seeds, and 500 into 10, 5,000. And then how many trees. So one action, one We Matter can actually create transformation endlessly. And that's the power within each person and each company. It's just that I think we have to see that connection. And since people are not seeing the connection, that disruption, they are getting disconnected from the roots, from what they are, the source which is safe. All the challenges come, isn't it?
Exactly. That's where, when I, narrated that particular poem about the encounter with illusion. Okay. So an encounter with illusion is precisely the same thing.
Yeah.
That you are getting carried away by nuts and bolts instead of essence.
Wow.
Like engagement also, like I was, yesterday was a Sankranti here in South, there was a Pongal festival.
Yeah.
And somebody posted picture, our company, we had a great engagement initiative. Because we conduct the Rangoli competition, we conduct this game, that game, they are not engagement. They are initiatives.
These are initiatives. These are tick mark.
They are cohesiveness exercise, a team cohesiveness. Okay. So it's much deeper meaning. And that's where, we have to take a pause. And that's where sometime when you touched upon some time ago regarding perseverance. Okay. So perseverance, passion, okay, peacefulness. Okay, there are a couple of important things.
Wow.
Which are really kind of helping us in going that action, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Actually,
and
which will
that
help us
discipline
in
matters.
going many extra miles, as you rightly said. Yeah, it's a long distance which we can cover. The funny thing
Correct.
is that unless we think on these lines which you just shared, people do not even know how many miles they can travel. And then they talk about, oh my God, Elon Musk has done this. What? Why? How can he do? How can he keep on shooting one rocket every second into the space? You can do much more
Yes.
than that. But we have to know yourself. The power is unlimited, actually, just like this example of
Don't compare yourself with somebody. Everybody
absolutely.
takes its own path cut. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
and don't
yeah.
claim. Okay,
You're
if
absolutely right. Absolutely right. I think Pankaj, what you said is very powerful and good that you reminded it. Yesterday, I was talking to Mr. Arun Mishra. We said the same thing that when I made this vision board, I knew that every word is unique to me. Just like when Pankaj has got his vision board will have absolutely different terms, different elements, and no two people are same. And then, despite that, people try to copy and compare. You can't copy and compare because everybody is unique. And yesterday while talking to Mr. Mishra, we were laughing at some of the, we just, I mean, in a humble way, I'm saying many companies think of having benchmarking. You can't compare because each company has got 500 people who are different. How can two companies with 500 or 1000 people can be same or similar? So that originality has to be respected. Be original, tagline. But look, समझ नहीं पाते Pankaj. Just see, I always tell people that you don't have to read only books. Books are amazing, but even if you read, I give this demo that you ask me to pick up any. There are many books here. Ask me to pick up any book. You tell me the page number. You tell me the line number. I read that one line and वहीं से निकलता है पूरी जिंदगी के secret. And then people are reading books after books, but actually they are not. They are like receivers which are shut off. Books are like transmitters which are giving lot of wise messages. But when the receiver is off, people are not getting it. And some of the best ways to awaken the receiver are the things which we are talking about, vision board and some of these realizations. So Pankaj, amazing. Pankaj, suppose we write a book on your life, journey and career. What do you think would be the title of the book? It's a question which I ask all the guests. Yeah.
I, coming from the student of science, and just now you talked about the spirituality. Okay, the Charavati. I think my title would be Genuine Efforts Never Go Waste.
Absolutely. Every bit
Okay.
of action counts. Every bit of action, including this video,
Yeah.
including this interaction, including all that we have done. I have seen that. You are absolutely right.
So it's like a Newton's third law. Every action has got equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah.
Okay. So you put in your best foot forward. Okay. And then let's wait for a destiny. The
Yeah.
return will come for sure. In what form, when, sometimes even you are not aware of it. So don't try to, carve everything yourself. Put your best foot forward, then leave it off.
Yeah,
So
I think going by the third,
the best.
going by the third law of Newton, I think people also use it in a very different way. They say that if you do something, I'll also do something because this is what Newton said. So I think there is a fourth law which we are going to propound today, that every action has got some outcomes. No action is going to get wasted. Every action is going to have multiple outcomes. Believe me, it's just that people have to keep on taking actions and charavati, right? And while still getting connected with their roots is what is very important. Very nice. Pankaj, would you like to talk about one or two chapters from the same book?
Because coming from that background of, consulting also, when you try to give framework to everything, acronym. Okay. So you say, I didn't want to use the word mill to millionaire. Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, coming from that textile mill background, the thing. So I'm not a money-minded person, nor I'm a millionaire. Okay. But yes, first phase would be that where you say that dream big, stay connected. Okay. Have faith. So that's where first chapter would be that, there is nobody who is inferior. Yes, keep putting a best foot forward.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that, Pankaj, who is, born in a milk quarters, okay, in a small, government hospital, okay, could move further, go to the, engineering, then PGTM and so on and so forth. Okay. It was surprised, like, when I went for my PGDM, and incidentally, there's a funny part of it. My, IIMs still give diploma, they don't give degree. Okay, my degree was PGDM, postgraduate diploma in management. Okay, and one of my relative, when they realized that after engineering, he is going to IBM, and that too, he'll not be getting a MBA degree, he'll be getting a diploma. He said, why are you going to get a diploma here? You can get a master's degree. Okay.
Yeah, because there people also know diploma by something. No? Many diploma. There are some
Then you can
different.
get a master's degree in MBA, GRU University of Gwalior. Why are you going there for a diploma? But yes,
Yeah.
keep moving, keep
It's
faith.
very nice, very
Okay.
nice. No, it's very powerful. And it's not about name, it's not about title, it's not about the name of the degree. It's about the knowledge which you get. That's something which many people do not get. Yeah.
And I have trust, so that second chapter would be keep trusting people. Okay.
Keep trusting.
And which is from your perspective, it's without expecting any returns.
Yeah.
If they have reverted, good. If they are not reverted, it was their destiny. It's not your problem.
Yeah.
If they have not understood you, it's their problem. They lost it, not your
Very
problem.
nice, very nice. And some more chapters could be based on the interaction which we had so far. Be positive, and also already you said keep moving in the right direction. And gun, and there are a lot of chapters. I see there is a book in making. There is a book in making, Pankaj. Let's speak offline. Very nice, Pankaj. Very nice. Pankaj, would you like to talk about? I think also already spoke about some inspiring books, so I don't think I should ask you again. You must have traveled, because being in the profession that you are, you must have traveled many places. Would you like to talk about a couple of places which were very close to your heart, which touched your heart? Some of the places which are very inspiring, or some people also you can talk about. Of course, you spoke about Mr. Prashant Srivastava ji. Some places and people.
I've been fortunate to have some good people in a professional life who have kind of touched my life. Whether my ITW, not my manager, Mr. In fact, my first manager, she's no more now. With all the respect, Mrs. Uma Dev Gupta.
Wow.
Okay, lots of small things you learn from a professional life. Okay, like my first job was in Bombay. Those days, you call up and I study, and she is a person who taught me.
Wow.
I'm using the word.
Wow.
Taught me good morning. That when you pick up the phone, she would tell you, Pankaj, say good morning.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something, and say thanks.
Wow.
So good morning and thanks are two small, if we call it, like new VCG is empathy, compassion, and gratitude.
Wow.
Okay. So it's not, I have coined, I have, borrowed from somebody else. I have read it. Okay. So gratitude is your saying thank you and good morning. So that's first, Mrs. Uma Dev Gupta. Second, I've been, lucky to have Mr. UB Chakravarti. He's in Hong Kong right now. In fact, he was in Bangalore last weekend, and he was living in Art of Living Ashram. Okay, he had come for some treatment, and I was supposed to go and meet him, but because of some reasons, couldn't meet him. But we spoke. Not only he has family connect. His daughter, she's in US Atlanta. She calls me from there. Wow. He calls me uncle. So like it become a elder brother. Hey, Pankaj, uncle, can you help me? Okay, so that's second. Then the third person would be Mr. G.S. Dutt, unfortunately from Umam Consultants.
Okay.
If you know him.
Okay.
He's no more now, but he's again like a fatherly figure.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
So, so lots of people who have, left an impact on you in their life.
Very nice.
Okay. And which you cherish and take it forward.
Wow.
So as I say, genuine efforts never go waste. Learn everything from everybody. Sometimes somebody will give you some good tips what to do. Sometimes somebody will give you also tip what not to do.
Both are important. Both are important. I recall once upon a time in my career, I had a boss who was a mix of three dark triads: Machiavellianism, a bit of psychopathic behavior as well, and then narcissism. So that character is a character of Mr. X in this book, and despite the fact that it's a 100% inspiring, very, very inspiring book. So I happened to talk to him once, and that was the time when I decided to grow my powers to such an extent that I can talk to him while having a look into his eyes and give him some feedback while still smiling and while still doing like this. And I told him one thing, that thank you so much, sir, for teaching me certain things. He was struck. He was surprised why exactly Arun is saying so. I said, thank you so much for teaching me certain things which I know by now I should never practice in corporate life. He was speechless. And that's exactly what you just said. There are things we have to learn from everybody. And believe me, I gave him blessings. I hugged him. He was still, and then he also received my hug, because I told him, and I still tell people, that had it not been for him, my comfort zone would not have been broken to the extent it was broken. And I would not have gone below good. Otherwise, the pursuit of greatness would never have come in my life. So I am a student. I always tell people that I'm not a coach, I'm a student, because still I believe I'm a student, I'll keep on growing. The day I get a feeling that I'm a coach, I'm a teacher, no, nothing. You can't teach. You can just inspire people or encourage people or generate a sense of curiosity or some kind of passion for people to learn, and then they become people like Milkha Singh who keep on running towards their goals, right? That's the goal of the of a coach or trainer, whatever you say. And I still every day I send blessings to him, because he is the person who actually he couldn't understand what I was telling, because there are different, because I had gone to a different level after having done a lot of things. It has been 5 years since then, Pankaj. Not a single day I have woken up before after that time, and I keep on practicing some of these things, keep on writing and coaching. A lot of coaching programs I have done, almost 300 hours of coaching I have done one-to-one before I started this heart-to-heart conversations, because I knew that in today's world we are not having that kind of deeper conversation. You might have felt some kind of depth in this conversation. Normally we go have some tea, coffee, and still we both are keeping our guards. So how are things? Are all good? How is the weather? All good? And still we do not go deep. It's important for leaders to go and have those deep conversations with their team members. Otherwise, the things will not open. It's all about trust. Trust will not come without heart-to-heart conversation. This is one such conversation. Thank you so much, Pankaj, for joining me. I know there are a lot of things which we have to do, which you have got to discuss, but you already have shared a lot of things. I saw while going through some of your profiles, the books by Shivaji Savant, Mrityunjay Yugandhar. Would you like to share something about those books, Pankaj?
In fact, there are a couple of books. Like my dad. I owe a lot to him. He's a person who is keeps on reading. At this age, also, I am his man Friday. Any book he doesn't know how to go for the internet. He just gives me a call. Pankaj, your book bhej dena. It's related to such an amazing.
I'm going to send a couple of my books.
And get the book courier to him. Okay.
Yeah.
Correct. So, two books, a couple of books, which kind of touches you. One of the writer which has touched me is also Mr. Shivaji Savant. Okay, so he is an original writer in Marathi.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he also won the Gyanpith Puraskar.
Wow.
So one of his first book, which was on Karn, is called Mrityunjay.
Okay.
Okay, so he talks about autobiography of Karn under Mrityunjay. How great person he was, what kind of hardships, what he has seen in life, how he's grew, and he gives you a human angle of the book.
Yeah,
it's not like for example, you used to talk about Karn was born with Kavach and Kundal, correct? So the way what happens, we people will dramatize it. He has given a human aspect to it, that when he was born, his kundal was basically, earlobe has got some extended portion which are like a kundal shape.
Absolutely.
Okay, and when it has so much of blood in it, when sunshine used to happen, it used to shine like gold. Similarly, his skin was, like impermeable. You cannot penetrate, entire skin. Okay, that's why his was considered a kavach and kundal. It was not that he was born with armor.
Yeah.
Okay. So same thing, I'm telling you human aspect of it. Same thing in the book you have narrated, when Indradev and kind of came in the form of a bhikari or whatever, I don't know to you. So okay, and he said, can you give me the dhan? And he said, what dhan you want? He said, I want your kavach and kundal. He pulled out a knife and he took his entire skin out from the body. And imagine, he's giving a human angle. When he's saying, if you have to cut the skin out from the body, when the skin cannot be cut, then how do you take the skin out? Okay, then he gave that thing. He started cutting the skin from your, your eyelids. And then he took his entire skin out. That's what he says. Dramatizing it. His skin out, and he gifted that particular skin to, Indra Devta. Now you wanted it. Here is my skin. And now he got so pleased that, he not only gave him that, the entire beautiful skin back, which is a normal human skin, not the skin like which he had earlier. Plus, he also gave him the Amogast, which he later on, he used on Ghatotkaч. Yeah, so a lot of things. Similarly, so this is Shivaji Savant. So Mrityunjay is a book on Karn. Yugandhar is a book on Krishna.
Wow.
Okay, both of them are beautiful books.
Wow.
There are books which is I read during my school days. Like that's the time when you are nurturing, building up your value system. That Acharya Chaturasena had written a series of 5 books.
Okay.
Uh, Sambhavami Yuge Yuge, Part 1, Part 2, Vinashacha Dushkratam, Part 1, Part 2, and Vayam Raksham. Telugu novel. Very nice. And there
Wow.
again, you are coming a person who is coming from the school of science. So you want to
Hmm.
connect the dots. And that
Yeah.
book gives you that connecting the dots. Like for example, you say that Kaurav was 105. Okay. And is it humanly possible that mother can give a child 205 kids?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
So those were basically that time artificial insemination under the Hindu mythology was being done. And these people were inseminated using in the ghada, like
Got
instead of
used.
rescue baby.
Yeah.
So they are the ghada baby.
Yeah.
And they are,
Yeah.
artificial inseminated and created because, that thing was not possible that, you can give a birth to so many. So that's how Kauravs came. Okay.
Wow.
And then he gave an example like, you gave a Div Drashti to Sanjay. Okay. That you could tell the story of, Mahabharat to Dhritarashtra.
Yeah.
But that Div Drashti was nothing. In the book they talked about it. It was today's era direct transmission, direct to home, live transmission. That he had the, opportunity that he could see it live
Absolutely.
and give a commentary to Dhritarashtra. And that's where like he could see it whatever form and ways you call it आपका गोला होता है उसमें you could see it and it's like a TV. It's like a TV that you had the Div Drashti which was being given to you so that you could see the live telecast what's happening over there and narrated.
Awesome.
When the Gita was told by Krishna to Arjun, then there are some people who had an opportunity to hear it live. One of them was Sanjay, who told to that rest.
Yeah. 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 Very nice. Thank you so much, Pankaj. Pankaj, would you like to share something else? I think we have spoken and I'm a lot of very, very powerful topics. I'm going to, while editing, I'll put all these words in a very discreet way so that people get all the messages, not a single message gets lost. Would you like to add something, anything else? Though I think we already have got a lot of enlightenment while talking to you.
What you regret in a life? I got a voice like Sachin Tendulkar.
Sorry.
I'm saying what you regret in a life. I don't have a. I have got a voice like Sachin Tendulkar.
No, you have got a beautiful, beautiful
So,
husky voice. I think your voice, I think Farhan Akhtar has used the same voice to become a singer. Pankaj, it's all about the way you look at the world. It's a beautiful voice,
okay.
amazing voice. Sachin Tendulkar, Farhan Akhtar, Pankaj, you are in the right esteemed company. And Pankaj, thank you so much. I think so. You give the example of the interaction between Lord Krishna and Arjuna, and it was told to Dhritarashtra by Sanjay. So today we are two students talking to each other, and thanks to Zoom and internet, all this story interaction is going to be told to the world. And thank you so much for sparing your time on this Sunday morning, Pankaj. This is the first interaction which has gone to 1 hour 15 minutes. Normally interactions end in 1 hour. I know that we can keep on talking and still we'll have couple of more hours of interaction. We'll certainly connect once again, Pankaj. Maybe we'll talk a little more about We Matter and kind of work which the company is doing. Already you gave a very good idea about what kind of work the company is doing, and the vision also you made very clear. 1,000 and how it is going to be connected to 1.5% of GDP of India. So I'm going to put everything while editing. Thank you so much. Have a great Sunday. And wishing once again to all the audience a very happy Makar Sankranti. लेकिन उसका सही मतलब समझिए, पेंच लड़ाना तो लड़ाते रहेंगे लोग, टीवी न्यूज हर जगह भरा हुआ है, लेकिन अपने पतंग को हवा में उड़ाना जरूरी है और धागे को हमेशा धागे से जुड़ा रहना जरूरी है. And thank you so much, Pankaj, for letting some of this enlightening message coming to the audience. Thank you so much for your time. Let's be in touch.
Pleasure meeting once again, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
God bless you.
Thank you. Bye.